show 439. What a morning as well, by the way. So today we're going to look at how do we create more time within our professional role so that we're not spending valuable personal time working when we should be being present for our wives, partners and children, and doing more of the things that we love doing. And I think it's a big problem for many people, mastering how you are productive during the day in that professional sense, right? So we're going to go through a couple of insights, tips and tricks, some experience, some strategies, so that you can we can look at as many scenarios as we possibly can to protect your personal time. That is the outcome that we're looking for here, right? We are looking to be efficient within that professional working role so that we are also equally protecting that personal time, that sacred time in terms of being present for our wives, children, partners. So I just want to quickly flick this around and show you how beautiful this is this morning. Look at this. Right. Boom, 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 boom. Look at this. Stunning, right? All right, let's get on with the show. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know. All right, so let's dive straight in because there's lots to cover. So let's have a look at the problem. What is the problem? So when you are within your, if you are a working professional, right? If you're a working professional, you kind of got that job. Okay, you could be a high pressure job. You might be CEO, you might be director, you might be manager director, you might be mid-management, you might be leader. You might run your own business. But what ends up happening is that there is not enough efficiency and you are not excelling with your time management throughout the day, okay, because you don't know how to. And the direct response to that is that you end up working more, longer and evenings, right? And that doesn't benefit anybody. That doesn't benefit anybody. So we need to be able to master that time within that role. So there are lots and lots of different circumstances in which we could go down this route. You could be working from home, you could be working from the office, you could be working on the road. So I'm basically just going to cover a couple of strategies that I think could cover all of them. Some of them are super simple and just a bit of a reminder. Some you might not have heard of before. All right, so for me, the key thing is, and I even brought it down here this morning, is to ensure that you are planning every hour of your time and you know what you're going to do on each of the hours that you have to work. Now, what me and hopefully the majority of the guys that I work with use is this journal, okay? Now, some use a diary, some use a journal. So if I give you a little example here, you can see from this journal here, from 6 in the morning right through to 7 at night, we kind of have hour by hour planning. And what we can do and put within here, okay, these slots here, is what we're going to do at those particular times, right? So this here allows me to know exactly, all right, what I'm doing at what time. So if you think about when you went to college, okay, and like my son's just started, my daughter's just finished, and they get there, and I used to work at the college, we would deliver a piece of paper like that, and on it would have, these are your lessons for the year, these are the days, these are the times, this is your teacher, this is what you're learning, okay, and you would have this map, if you like, in front of you of where your time, your energy and your focus was going, okay? Many of you do this on a day-to-day basis, or I really hope that you do, with your accounts. So you'll go, this much money's coming in, this much money's coming in, that's how much I'm putting towards the mortgage, that's how much I'm using to pay the bills, this is how much we've got to ourselves, this is going in the savings. So you're budgeting that time that energy and focus. All I'm doing here is I am budgeting what time I have. I have 24 hours in a day. Let's minus, I sleep 6 hours, so that leaves me with, I've got 18 hours within my day where I am consciously awake, okay? And I can use those 18 hours as I see fit to move me forward, right? So then what I need to think about doing is going, I need to break that 18 hours down to my 4 pillars. Sorry, 5 pillars. So I then think about, what do I need to do for my health? What do I need to do for my relationships? What do I need to do for my career? What do I need to do for my personal development? And what do I need to do to have some fun? So I break it down, right? But what we're talking about specifically is work today. So I know that for today, I've started my work now. So I start my work from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. I've done my morning routine. I will sit here. I'll message clients that are in my higher groups. I will organise. I'll just get organised the next hour and a half. So that's my first hour and a half's work. Okay, then I'll go off to jiu-jitsu, come back at 11, and then from 11 o'clock to 4:30 today, I know that I'm going to be working. I know what I'm going to be doing between each of the times. So I know what I'm going to do between 11 and 12:30. I know what I'm going to be doing from 1 to 2:30. I know what I'm going to be doing from 3 to 4:30. So it allows me to then really know what I need to be doing. And this is what's missing for a lot of people that I work with. It's just chaos. It's just chaos. Going into the office blind and not having a clear idea about what the priorities are that need doing within the work role. Now, there are going to be curveballs. You are going to get distracted. There are going to be things where you get pulled left and you get pulled right. Okay, but having a plan of action is something that allows you to have more clarity, control, that allows you more progression. And when you have control, clarity and progression, you don't feel the need so much to have to work within your personal space, right? So what we're trying to now create is a boundary, okay? And I was talking about this in our new Elite Movement course that we are putting together. So a clear boundary is something that stops you going through, okay? So when we're talking about work-life balance, we're talking about, right, you've got this allocation of time that you've allowed yourself. Bang, you cannot pass this. So we have to reverse engineer what that time is. So if you say 1700 to me, if you want to finish at 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or for whatever it is, you then work backwards and go, right, this is when I'm starting. So this is the allocation of those 18 hours I've got in the day that I'm working. So within that time, what can I realistically achieve? Again, this is where it goes wrong. Because you think that you can achieve much more than you actually can. And it's like spending more money than you have budgeted for, right? So if you say, right, I'm going on holiday, I'm taking £1,000, okay, you break that barrier by spending £2,000, okay? You work to a budget, right? You're working to a budget with your time. So this is your time, this is your budget. It might be 6 hours that you're working, it might be 10 hours. But you've got to have that budget, because as soon as you break the barrier and you break that budget, you're now eating into time that you would be spending with your children, that you would be spending with your wife, that you'll be doing something for you. And this is why so many guys are falling into that depressive, anxiety rut, right? Because they're just surviving, they're just living, they're just working 80% of the time, and their wife gets maybe 8% of the 20% that's left. Your kids maybe 5%. Your health may be 3%, personal development may be 0.5%, fun maybe 1%. So it's so important. You're budgeting your time. So if you want to be really efficient within that time, one of the things that I always state, and what we put here, is what are your top 3 priorities for the day? So within that little budgeted time you've got, what are the priorities that you are giving that period of time to achieve in your workplace? So that actually when you finish and you close up ready to leave work at that barrier, jump over the wall and go into personal space, what are the top 3 things that you need to have achieved? You then suddenly become 10 times more productive. You suddenly then protect your time 10 times more than you ever have. and it's about protecting that time. Because if you said you're going to do these three things, then the standards, okay, your discipline is based around achieving those three things. So if you're doing something that is not aligned to those top three things that you said you would achieve, then it's more than likely your boundaries are going to be broken and you're going to start eating into personal time. Okay, makes sense to everyone so far? And it's really, really like important to really know that when we prioritize those top three things, they are the things that move you in your career or you in your business forwards. So they're priority jobs. Okay, so when you look at your priority jobs, what you should do, and what's a good exercise to do, is like write down all the £10 an hour jobs, write down all the £50 an hour jobs, write down all the £500 an hour jobs. Okay, so my £500 an hour jobs is coaching men. Okay, my £10 an hour job, okay, is onboarding new students, new clients who come into my world who want to learn, who want to be accountable. So I hire people to help me because I can't do all of the £500 an hour jobs really well. Okay, so I hire people who can do the £10 and £50 an hour jobs well for me. Otherwise, I will never have any time to do my coaching and I'll be burnt out. Which leads me on to the other thing, which is delegation. So if you're in a position where you have people to delegate to, are you delegating enough? Are you going, I can't deal with all this workload, I need to offload to these people who I think are capable of doing this job, right? And I meet so many people within that role that are not delegating, and they're taking it all on and actually almost killing themselves and grinding themselves into the floor for a company that's not even theirs, right? You could be made redundant at any point. Don't forget that. There's being efficient within your work role. There is making sure you're committed. There's making sure you're a really good, like, employee, manager, leader, business owner. But you can be replaced. So why are you sacrificing your health, your mindset, your relationships, life for a company that you do not own? Sure, you get paid well, so do the job that you've been paid to do, but don't let it eat into your personal space, right? Because remember, at the end of the day, and this is my fallback, if everything collapsed, if I was hit rock bottom, I know, touch wood, I am convinced 99.9999% that my wife and my kids would be there right next to me. And that's the only thing that matters. Okay, so we, again, to be productive, okay, to understand that role, you have to understand that those people are your priority. It's always family first, work second. So it goes you, family, work. Make sure you stay in that order of priority when you're thinking about your career, when you're thinking about your time, when you're wasting time, when you're not planning, you are not thinking about your family, because you are going to have to play catch up. You're going to be stressed. You're going to go home annoyed. Everyone's going to be treading on eggshells around you. So it's your responsibility to have the discipline to stick to the timings, to budget your timings and lead yourself. If you're going to be a high performer, if you want to reach your potential and beyond, this is the type of stuff you have to do. If you don't, stop watching and go and live your life, okay? Because it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. All right, so that's how you can manage your time. It's literally actually spending time planning your time instead of trying to figure it out and cuff it like the majority of men do. I don't know anyone that ever sustains that. It's going to burn you out, and you're going to be fried, and you're going to be miserable, and you're going to live in that world, and you're going to lie awake at night wondering what's going on with your life and where your life is going, and then probably asking yourself, is this as good as it gets? So let's not have that. Let's have some limitless potential being shown here. Let's have some disciplines and high standards. Let's have some effort and commitment to you actually changing the way that you show up within your life, right? And life could look a lot different for you. If you haven't already, please join our waiting list for the seminar, okay, in November. And again, listen, if you think we're going up there, start beating chests, start being egotistical, start being all like manly, it's not going to be for you. It's not that type of event. It's an event where we bring a collective of guys together who want to learn, grow, develop, build, and network with like-minded guys that want to reach their potential as well, right? You don't need all the chest pounding, egotistical BS that goes on at most seminars. All right, this is a like inspiring, informative, like passion-driven seminar where you can learn more in 7 hours. You can get more inspiration, drive, fire, and passion about your life in 7 hours than the last 3 months or over 3 months. And I'm that convinced as well with the speakers that we've brought in. So the only way that you will get early bird tickets is being on the waiting list. Okay, they won't be offered for the first 7 days. So after that 7 days, the early bird will close, guys. Okay, and priority to tickets. And we are limited to tickets this year because we've already sold like I think 50 or 60 from last year. So get yourself on board, do yourself a favour and get there, overcome the anxiety, overcome the worry. Nothing's going to happen to you. I'm going to give you a big bear hug when you get there, shake your hand, you're going to get a coffee, you're going to meet other guys, and you're going to feel at home. And you're going to be glad because it's going to be the best thing that you've ever done for yourself. And it's going to set you up for 2024. All right, so get yourself on that waiting list. We open Tuesday, the 1st of August at 12 o'clock, okay, to the people on the waiting list. See you Friday.